Alright. Alright, what's up guys? Think I got a little Sixers video I want to make here. You know, it's just one of my random things. Next video probably won't have anything to do with the Sixers, but this one is. Um Also, I'm probably gonna make a podcast. Me and my friends been talking about it for a while, so if you're into that type of thing, stay tuned. I'll definitely have that for you. But if not, I will be here talking about the Sixers by myself because I fucking love the Sixers. It's my shit. So, we're gonna start off. The season starts tomorrow. Expecting 72-0. Just basic shit right there. We're gonna win every game. So really, there's no point even talking about it. We should just end the video here. But we're gonna get into it though. So the biggest thing this offseason, Daryl Morey joining the team. That shit is crazy. I cannot believe we got Daryl Morey. I'm still on an emotional high from having Daryl Morey on the team. We went from the worst front office or one of the worst front offices in the league, like literal joke in the front office, to the best front office person in the league. Like, it's just unheard of. Stuff like this doesn't happen to the Sixers. Like, come on, what universe are we in? So Daryl Morey coming to the team, that shit's huge. Doc Rivers, I don't really have an opinion either way on Doc Rivers. Like, I don't know. He kind of seems regular to me, but he does, players respect him, I guess, so that's worth something. He runs actual sets unlike Brett Brown, which also is something. He's not afraid to yell at the players, so that also is something. I feel like a lot of the time, especially like last year, like Brett Brown just could not, he had no control over the locker room. He had no control over the players, which, we are pros, they are grown men, they should be like accountable for their own shit. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I just felt like Brett Brown didn't have the right voice for this team. Like, he just was not reaching the players. Like, his stuff was going, or his criticism, his coaching was going in one ear and out the other, because it's like, Brett Brown, you don't got no fucking power. Like, who the fuck are you, dude? So, excuse me if I look over here. The Brooklyn and Golden State game is on mute. But yeah, Doc Rivers, new voice, so hopefully that changes some things. Hopefully that adds something. I don't know. I'm more excited about the coaching staff, honestly. Dan Burke, amazing defensive coach. We have Sam Cassell, which is someone that I kind of wanted to be the head coach before we got Doc Rivers. So it's kind of cool that we have both. There's some other assistants in there that I'm just blanking on right now that are pretty good, or at least they have good reputations that I've seen or heard of. As far as player personnel, can't really talk about the players without addressing the fact that we may or may not get Harden. I'm gonna speak into existence. We're gonna get Harden without trading Embiid or Simmons, and I know that sounds extremely unlikely, but let me live in my delusion. All right, this is my personal fantasy. This is David's video, and that's the reality I'm going to speak into existence. It's going to happen. So that's just what I'm saying. It's gonna fucking happen. All right, it's gonna happen. And I would just speak on, like, if I had to trade Ben Simmons to get Harden type scenario, I don't know, man. I just don't know. That's just really, really, really hard. But you probably have to do it. You probably have to do it. It just scares me because there's a lot of good wings in the NBA, and Ben Simmons is like, he can guard 1 through 4 without question. I feel like maybe like quicker ones he would have like a little bit of a struggle on, and like more powerful fours he has a little bit of a struggle with. But like anything in between those two things, like, he's shutting it down. And there's a lot of good wings. You got like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown on the Celtics. You got Siakam, who kind of defends himself in the playoffs, but still kind of wants someone to guard him. If he had to play a Western teams like Kawhi's of the world, like Jimmy Butler, and on the Heat, if we go back to the Eastern Conference, trying to think like who else. There's a bunch of wings. There's a bunch of guys that Ben Simmons would be very useful like to defend against. That James Harden just not gonna bring the same thing, but also Ben Simmons is kind of a non-factor in the playoffs offensively. So like you have to kind of weigh the fucking like how shitty Ben is on offense with how great he is on defense in the playoffs compared to how great Harden's offense is going to be, which Harden's offense really isn't all that amazing in the playoffs either. Like, at least in high leverage situations, he hasn't proven to really be the guy that is going to score 40 points a game in the playoffs and really dominate like the whole series. But maybe that's like a situational thing. Maybe if he plays with a guy like Joel Embiid, who also demands double teams, then that would be wouldn't really be an issue in the playoffs with James Harden. Also, James Harden probably wouldn't have to try as hard on defense, even though he doesn't really try on defense at all. He wouldn't have to exert. He would have to exert even less energy playing with someone like a Joel Embiid, who just makes a defense great just by existing. So that's the thing. But if I had to do the trade, just straight up Ben Simmons for Harden, which it sounds like the Rockets aren't accepting right now, but the Rockets are gonna have to stop being choosers and start being beggars eventually, because James Harden is obviously going to make this a bigger and bigger problem the longer this goes on. If I had to trade straight up, probably do it, but I'm trying really, really hard to not have to trade Ben Simmons. I'm trying really, really hard. And I know Daryl Morey knows Harden wants out. That's the thing. Daryl Morey is coming from Houston. He knows about the situation. He has a relationship with James Harden. He knows that he wants out. So maybe we can look out in that situation. Maybe we can find a way to trade bum-ass Tobias Harris and picks and some young players for James Harden. Maybe we can find some way to do that. I'm hoping. You know what? No, that's going to happen. I'm not hoping. I said earlier I'm speaking into existence. That's what's going to happen. Let me live in my delusion. All right. So, yeah, we're getting Harden. So, really, I shouldn't even include Tobias on here. But I'm going to, because I want to talk about Tobias Harris. He's butt. But first, we'll talk about Simmons. Simmons, I don't really expect anything from Ben Simmons this season like that we haven't already seen. Maybe he'll shoot a couple more threes. I don't know. I feel like Ben Simmons is kind of just who he is at this point, unless he adds a jumper to his game. That's not really much. Maybe he'll get better at finishing with his right or left hand, or finishing better with his left hand. I think he's pretty good finishing with his right hand. Excuse me. Really, I think he probably should shoot with his right hand. He's probably a right-handed shooter, but he grew up thinking that he shoots with his left hand, so now we're here at 24 years old. There's not really much you can do. I guess he can try to switch hands. It's not like the world's going to explode. He's already not shooting with his left hand. So it's like, if he switches hands now, the worst situation that could happen is he just doesn't shoot with his right hand now. It's not really that different. But what was I saying? Oh, he doesn't finish very well with his left hand. I don't think he takes a lot of layup attempts with his left hand. He's just not confident in it. He doesn't really finish aggressively around the rim, which is just weird to say for someone that is his size. This man is 6'10", he's fucking huge. Doesn't finish with any amount of aggression most of the time unless it's just a wide open dunk, which is cool. Most players can't get wide open dunk for Ben Simmons is different than a wide open dunk for a Damian Lillard or something, or Damian Lillard has to have a wide open clear lane in order to really get a dunk. I guess you can kind of dunk with people sometimes. Maybe it's not the best example, but whereas Ben Simmons that he doesn't need it to be that wide open in order for him to get a dunk, but it still has to be kind of open. Ben Simmons isn't going to power through people or dunk over people like Giannis. It's just not. He should. Theoretically, you would think he could do that, but he hasn't really proven that he can. So I'm not really expecting much more from Ben than what we've seen. I would like him to get to the line more, but that's just I don't know, man. I just don't have faith in Ben Simmons doing something that aggressive. I just don't see it happening on the basketball court. I just don't at this point. And I love Ben Simmons. Defensively, he's going to be one of the best defenders in the league. At least top 5 defender. He can guard all his positions. Like I said earlier, it's extremely valuable stuff. He's an extremely good passer. He takes smart shots, but it's at the same time, I would like for him to be more aggressive. I think he thinks he's a success just because his field goal percentage is high, but that field goal percentage is misleading because he's only taking shots that are super obvious or super in his face. He's not stressing the defense out with his shot attempts. So I feel it's even kind of more impressive that he gets the assists he does, because it's he's not aggressive scoring the ball. It's not something he does. So if he was more aggressive, then maybe I feel he would have more assists, or he would have more opportunities to open things up for other people. But that's just not who he is. It's not his game up until this point, and I'm just not going to expect more, because I've been expecting more for the last 2 or 3 seasons, and all that did was hurt me. So we're not letting Ben hurt us in the same way. We're just not going to do it. What we got next? Embiid. I just love Embiid. Embiid's my favorite player. Him and Russell Westbrook, my favorite players in the NBA. And I don't think Russell Westbrook's a winning player per se, but I just love watching him play. That's a different conversation though. Embiid looked really good in that game against the Celtics. I thought he looked almost rookie year Embiid. Like it looked like the last 2 years Embiid was playing with like fucking 10-pound ankle weights on both ankles, and like he's just dragging his feet up the court, and it looks like in that Celtics game, first preseason game, like he actually took those off, and he was moving with a lot more fluidity, a lot more like quickness, haste. Like it looked like more like lateral athleticism. Like he actually had some amount of flexibility, like, and maybe that's due to him being in shape and actually giving a fuck about his body for once. Like, who knew that would happen? When you actually give a fuck as a professional athlete about your body, you can perform better. Who would have guessed? I don't know. But Embiid is just dominant force offensively and defensively. If we do get Harden, that shit would be crazy. We would get like 30 free throws a game just off of them two together playing like together, just off of them two. So like, that's just incredibly efficient offense. They both hit over 80% of their free throws, so that would be ridiculous. But Embiid is going to be Embiid. I think he's going to be better this season, especially with the spacing and, you know, how he took care of his, or how he seemed to have taken care of his body. He looked more in shape. He looked better. So I'm hoping for the best with Embiid. He's going to be the best player on this team. He's been the best player on this team the last couple years. He's going to be the best player on this team again. We're going to go as far as Embiid takes us unless we get Harden. That's just what it is. Next we got bum-ass Tobias Harris. Look, I've been a defender to my friends about this Tobias Harris contract. And if they watch this video, they're going to call me out on this. But, like, I can't. I'm just so tired of watching Tobias Harris play a game of basketball. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't take it anymore. He is Kyle Kuzma on a $30 million contract. A slightly better version. Like, he gets more consistent buckets, I guess. He knows what he's doing more, but he's also been in the league a lot longer. So, like, that's expected. Like, I can't watch Tobias Harris play basketball anymore. He just so often he will have a wide open three, decline to take it, and then take 7 straight like dribbles to go nowhere, to get like 17 feet away from the basket to take a contested mid-range shot that we don't need, or he'll drive into the basket after having an open shot when someone gives him the ball that he could take because he's 6'10". He could take shots over people. He just doesn't know it. And he will take dribbles into the lane to put up the bullshit ass floater that never seems to go in, or it goes in sometimes, but it just seems like a bad shot every time. Or he'll drive in, attract a double or triple team, and have like shooters open, but he just does not have the court vision to notice them out there. So like it's just a waste. It's a waste of possession to give Tobias Harris the ball and let him do what he does. Like, I don't know what Tobias Harris doing what he does. Like, I don't know how that would help a team win. Like, I just don't. Like, Tobias Harris needs to be coming off like a pin down or spreading the floor and catching and shooting. That's all Tobias Harris needs to do, and attack closeouts. That's what his job should be. I really don't think it's that difficult. Like, I don't know what the coaches are telling him. Maybe they are telling him this. He's not listening. I don't know. But it just does not seem that hard for Tobias Harris to do his job. It just shouldn't be this difficult. It shouldn't be this hard. It really, really shouldn't. He just plays the game on like... He just processes the game slow. Like, in his head, the game is moving at like 0.5 like speed or some shit. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Tobias Harris. I don't know what's happening. It seems like he just does not fit in on this team. Like, after the last season, I was telling people around me, like, Tua, Josh Richardson, and Al Horford, Tobias Harris need to go, because all three of them are just unwilling shooters. They just do not want to shoot the fucking basketball. That's, like, the last thing they want to do. Like, they'll wait 3 seconds when they get the ball and be like, all right, well, I guess I had to shoot, and they'll shoot. But, like, and then they'll miss, too. So that's not a good thing either, but I would rather have a willing shooter. I would rather them shoot the ball immediately and miss than to wait 3 seconds for the defense to recover to take a more difficult shot. Like, it's just dumb. It's just stupid. Tobias Harris pisses me off. I can't watch it anymore. I want so badly for him to be good. I want so badly for him to be even close to worth the $30 million he's making per year. Or is it even more than that? I think it's even more than that. I think it's like almost 40. That's ridiculous. That's crazy, man. I can't believe we're paying Tobias Harris that much money. Fucking crazy. And people were telling me that, and I defended that contract because we were over the cap when we signed him. We were over the cap. We couldn't spend that money on anyone else. It was either lose Tobias Harris for nothing or sign Tobias Harris to a ridiculous contract and keep him. But it's almost like I would rather just, at this point, just lose Tobias Harris for nothing. Like, it's just, like, give those minutes to someone else. Like, other people down on this list, like Shake, now Maxey. Like, okay, maybe there's not as many people as I thought there was that I would play over Tobias Harris right now, but definitely Shake and Maxey. I don't know who the fuck would play the four. Maybe Ben or defend fours in those lineups or some shit. But Tobias Harris, not fit anymore. Can't do it. Cannot do it. theoretical. The idea of Tobias Harris is so much better than the actuality of Tobias Harris. Like, the idea of a 6'9" power forward who isn't an awful defender, but isn't a good one. Tobias Harris closeouts just, they make me want to throw up. I hate watching them. Like, I feel like Tobias Harris has never successfully closed out on a shooter in his entire career. Like, he tries, but maybe it's just like he just doesn't have the athleticism. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Not a fan of Tobias Harris. Can't do it anymore. Who else we got? Seth Curry. Seth Curry, I don't know. Seth Curry is just Seth Curry. I mean, he's going to shoot over 40% from three, but he's not going to get a lot of them off. He's going to get probably like 6 off a game because his shot is kind of slow and he's kind of short and he doesn't really have like an arsenal of dribble moves to create for himself, and he's not fast enough to really, he's not fast and athletic enough like a JJ Redick to like run off a screen and run into like a shot where like he's running and he get the ball and stop and pull up real quick. Like, it's just not in his game. Like, he just can't do that accurately. I don't even think he feels comfortable doing stuff like that. So I don't know. He will be really good with Ben in the open court. Like, if Ben gets a rebound and we're running and Ben like actually plays aggressive like he's supposed to do and runs to the hole, then, you know, Seth will be posted up in a corner or like at the wing or something to get an open shot. Like, that's more so like where he's gonna shine on this team. I don't know really what his role is beyond that or what he'll do outside of that. I don't know. Defensively, Seth Curry, whatever. Average defender for someone his height. He tries hard. I mean, he's gonna get cooked by good offensive players. He'll hold his own against bad offensive players. Like, he is just gonna be what it is with him. Danny Green, I really like Danny Green. People were very negative on Danny Green because he had like a shooting slump in the playoffs with the Lakers, and that's just what Danny Green is going to be. That's just how it is. That's the type of player he is. I put him in like a Robert Covington type of role. People, especially in Philadelphia, people hated Robert Covington because it seemed like he never made a three, but I just don't understand what those people are watching, because Robert Covington took a lot of threes. That was the thing. He took a lot of threes, and he made at or slightly above average on those threes. And that's an amazingly valuable thing to have when he's taking them super contested. He's taking them like 5 to 6, 7 feet behind the 3-point line, and he's giving you like all NBA defensive effort on the other side. Like, that's just an extremely valuable player to me, especially with players like Embiid and Simmons, who really are inside interior players. You need people around that are going to take contested shots that aren't going to think twice and just going to pull them shits. And you need players like that. You can't have fucking Al Horford thinking for 5 years about whether or not he wants to shoot a three, or Josh Richardson like really contemplating every single fucking three that he gets. Like, you just can't have that shit. Or Tobias Harris doing, I don't even want to get back to Tobias Harris. It pissed me off. So, you know, I like the Danny Green. Danny Green's going to get his shots up. He's not going to hesitate. He's going to figure out a way to get his shots up. Even if they're contested, he'll still put them up, which might piss me off a little bit, but that's better than the alternative of them people just not taking shots when they're there. So, and his defense is amazing. I don't know who's saying, like, his defense might have fell off a little bit just because he's like, 34 now? 34, 35. Like, he's not the young player that he was before. It's where he doesn't have like the same lateral or like movement or agility or like the same speed that he had in his prime. But he still has really high defensive IQ. He still has really good hands. He still knows how to play really good team defense. So I like Danny Green. I'm really cool with Danny Green. Now, next, Shake. Been a Shake Milton believer. Like, I just like Shake Milton. I think he's really good. He has obvious holes in his game, though. I'm not going to say Shake Milton's going to come in and be like an all-star performer or whatever. Like, it's just not what he's going to do. Shake Milton's going to come in this year, probably average around 14 and a half points. He's going to shoot around 40% from three. He's going to facilitate a little bit, but his facilitation is very limited because his handles are very limited. Like, you can't Shake Milton with the ball in his hands. Like, he can dribble, you know. He can try to initiate offense. He's like, but he's not. He doesn't have the quickness and he doesn't have the craftiness, at least yet in this point in his career, to really be like someone that you give the ball and say, we're running our offense through you. Go create a shot, Shake. Like, it's just not going to happen. He's not going to do it. It's just not. It's just going to be hard for him to do. But if you put him in a situation where he's coming off a pick, or like Ben drives and his guy helps off a little bit, and then he gives it to Shake. Now Shake can attack a closeout. Now Shake can do stuff. His handles are good enough to where he can attack stuff like that, and his shot is good enough that he can, hit a little pump fake and hit a three, or he can, maybe if he has someone like, not guarding him as tightly as they should, he can hit a little step back and hit a mid range, or he can hit like little, or he can get to the lane, use his length and finish around the rim. But I just don't see like where Shake is breaking anybody down with his handles. Like, it's just not who he is yet. He's only 24. Maybe that'll get better with time. Shake has improved, every year. At least I've seen him. So I think that's something that we can look forward to, but not something to expect this year from Shake. Defensively for Shake, Shake. I don't know. He's just a young player. Like, off ball defense, like, is probably not his forte, but on ball, I mean, he projects to be a good defender. He has really long arms. He's not small for his position. I don't know how tall Shake is exactly. I would say probably like 6'4", 6'5", maybe. Maybe he just seems taller because his arms are really long. But either way, like, he should be a good defender on guards when his body fills out, when, he understands the concept of a team defense, when he understands how to correctly play defense. He should be able to do it. He should be able to be a passable defender. Maybe he won't be defensive player of the year. Maybe he won't be like a great defender, but he should be able to be a good defender when he understands what he's doing enough. So, big believer in Shake. I think Shake will be perfect. I think Shake should be in the starting lineup, honestly, over like Tobias, or I just don't like Tobias, but there's no way they're not going to start Tobias. They had to justify his bullshit contract. So, probably going to start over Seth Curry, I want to say, eventually. I think Shake is going to start on this team eventually, because I think that his shooting is going to force him to be on the court. He's not a better shooter than Seth Curry, but I think he's going to be able to get his shot off more comfortably on a catch and shoot than Seth Curry is on this team. Just through him being taller. Like, that's really what it is. Taller, and like the handles to be able to like attack a closeout. Again, I keep saying it, but attacking closeout is going to be very important, because people are going to double team all the time on Joel, and sometimes Ben, mostly Joel. So that help's going to have to come back, and the ability to attack that double team and be able to do stuff against it is going to be really important for this team. I just really feel like it is. Wish he was more of a facilitator, though. Wish that he could be like a ball handler, like basically what Markelle Fultz was supposed to be, because we really are missing like what Markelle Fultz is supposed to be. We're missing like James Harden. With James Harden, I think every team is missing James Harden. I think every team would take him, but we're missing like a point guard that can score on every level, on 3 levels. We're just missing that on this team, and I don't know how far we can go without that. I think that that's really been the bane of this team's existence for the last 3 years. We got a glimpse of what we could be when we had that in Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler wasn't even really a 3-level scorer, because he can't shoot the 3. Like, he very rarely shoots 3s, but he could score in the mid-range, and he can get to the foul line, and he can get to the bucket. Like, we are really missing a 3-level scorer on this team. Hopefully Shake can be that, but I don't think he's going to be that this year. Furkan, I also believe in Furkan. Maybe not to be as good as Shake is, but I believe in Furkan to be like a rotational NBA player, just because I think his shot is so quick. His shot just looks so pure to me that it just seems like there has to be a way Furkan Korkmaz stays on the NBA court. It just has to happen. There's just no way that he's not going to be on the court somewhere. Like, he's just a 3-point shooter. That's what he does. He's probably not going to play great defense, even though he did bulk up this year, so maybe eventually he will turn into a good defender, but I don't know. His feet are kind of slow, so I don't know how well that's going to bode for him. And, he's going to have to guard guards, which he's going to get fried. That's how it is. But he's going to be able to come off as like a 7th man on the bench somewhere on a good team, hit 3s at a good rate, and that's what this team needs. So, when I say I believe in Furkan, I believed in Furkan when he was on the bench and people were saying he was trash and he would never play. And I was like, his shot, if the shots go in, the way he shoots, it just looks like he's a good shooter. Like, it just like he didn't have the confidence. And now I think he's developing that confidence. I think he has the confidence to be able to shoot. So those shots are going to go in. He's going to make shots. And like, it's going to work out for him to where he's going to be able to stay on the NBA floor. He's going to be able to stay on the court. He's going to be able to play. That's just how I feel about Furkan. People didn't see that vision, but, it's happening. People don't see the Harden vision, but, we're going to get Harden without Embiid or Simmons being in the deal. I just see it. What else we got? Dwight's Dwight. I mean, definitely better than I thought he was going to be when we signed him. It's a good defensive presence, even though I don't know. There were some plays where I was like, I really feel like Dwight probably should have like helped out at the rim. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's guarding the center from 15 feet out. If the center wants to shoot a 15-footer, Dwight just let him. Like, who cares? Like, I think your talents is better spent, protecting the rim when you could see. I was plays where like you could see the guard driving to the rim. Like, I know you could see that, Dwight. I know you're looking right directly at it. So why don't you just slide over there and at least try to protect the rim? Like, try to help. But maybe he just didn't see it. Maybe he just doesn't have the like mobility to do that anymore. Maybe it's fucking preseason and he was just like, man, I don't care. All possibilities. Everything else from Dwight has been positive, though. He just gets easy baskets on the offensive side. He doesn't try to force anything. He doesn't try to be anything he's not. It took him 17 years to get here, or 16 years, because he kind of was like this on Lakers last year. But, we're finally here. He's finally doing what he's supposed to do on offense. Not trying to post up and be prime Shaquille O'Neal. So, that's great. Tyrese Maxey. Oh, I love Tyrese Maxey already. It's been like 2 preseason games. He's so fast. He could be the 3-level scorer that we need. But, he's a rookie. It's early. So we're going to have to see. Defenses haven't really adjusted to him. They don't know what Tyrese Maxey really does yet. So once they figure that out, we got to see how he responds to that happening. But from what we've seen so far, Tyrese Maxey, better handles than I thought. He is way faster than I thought. That floater is absolutely for real. Like, defensively, he's really good already, I think. Like, he just tries so hard, like, and he's always in a position. He's really good, like, with angles on defense, I found. Or, like, at least I've observed. Like, he always knows the right angle. Like, even if someone beats him off the dribble, he knows the right angle to come back so that he can still, like, recover and contest the shot at the rim still. Like, and I think that's really just an undervalued skill. Like, that's really, really, really good, I think. Tyrese Maxey. Haven't seen him shoot no, he did shoot a 3, but he bricked bad. And that was only 1 3, so maybe more threes. He's definitely going to have to shoot more threes if he wants playing time with this roster. It's just going to have to be, that's just the reality of the situation with that. But I like Maxey. First year player, he's only 20. We got him for 4 more years, so that's great. A couple years, he'll be really good. Might get traded for Harden, though, so that'll suck, but we'll have Harden, so, we don't really need Maxey at that point. What we got? Matisse Divel. Matisse is all about his 3-point shooting and, him making better gambles on offense or defense. I think he's gotten a little bit fixated on getting steals and blocks, and that's not ideal. There's just not. He gets a lot of fouls just because he's trying so hard, or he gets beat and puts himself out of position because he's trying so hard to get a steal, which, if you get the steal, it seems really cool and awesome, but when you don't get the steal, you just kind of look like an idiot all the time. So, it just is what it is. Thibault, I still have some faith in him. If he can hit threes, and if he shot them with more confidence, then I would really believe in Thibault. He would definitely be in the rotation, but that's just not where we're at. That's not the reality right now. Thibault just does not hit threes right now, man. The Nets are really giving the Warriors the business right now, too. This is crazy. I was not expecting them to do them like this. I was expecting them to win, but this is crazy right here. Absolutely destroying them. Might as well just take Curry out of the game. So yeah, Thibault, whatever. Mike Scott. The Mike Scott story is just an easy one. If Mike Scott is hitting threes, he's playable. If Mike Scott is not hitting threes, he's not playable. That's really just what it comes down to. That's really it. And there's nothing special or particular that Mike Scott has to do. I mean, he's an okay defender, but like if he's not hitting threes, we'd rather have someone else out there. That's really just what it is. Offense, he's not going to do anything special. He has a little bit of a post game. He can hit some mid ranges, but mainly offense. Mike Scott gotta shoot and make threes, and he has no problem shooting threes. He has no problem at all, but has to make them. And yeah, that's really it. I don't know if I have like a win prediction or total for this season. We're gonna say 72 and 0. That's what I'm predicting, and then 16 and 0 in the playoffs. And we got. I don't even know who the Finals MVP is. Probably Embiid in that situation. We're winning every game that we're not losing. So, I don't know. That's my take on the Sixers season right now. Yeah. Go Sixers, 72-0, baby. See you.